We are live.
Live. What's up?
What's going on?
Hey, what's going on?
I gotta
What's up,
figure out.
Eric?
Oh, there we are.
Go wake up Jeff. Hot dog ball, Abundant Acres.
Oh yeah. Somebody go wake up Jeff. No. Let him
Jeff
sleep.
Brew.
Let him sleep.
Cockroach.
Yes. How's everybody this fine evening? It's 20 degrees and snowing.
That
Nope,
sucks.
19 degrees and snowing. That's what happens in the wintertime, I guess. Danny's whining it's cold down there. It's probably like 75.
No, it's not 75.
Oh,
It's not.
73?
It's freaking cold.
Yeah, 73.
Chubbs, go to work. Go make us some money. You working extra.
9 degrees and no snow. Yeah.
Keep that. Do not send that this way.
I don't want the 9 degrees. I guess I got to take the snow, but
It's 48 degrees right now.
no, Eric, that's not what was happening.
Is
I
that
think
your
it is
phone?
legal now, though.
Is that your phone that keeps beeping?
Yeah, it's my email from work.
Oh, you off of work? You gotta quit.
I'm not. I'm not answering them. I'm not on call.
Oh,
GTR grows it. What's going on?
I don't see you. Yep, grows it, Alaska. Cool. Somebody from
You watch
Alaska.
his? Yeah, you watch his channel. He does
No,
hydroponics too.
I need to
You got.
go.
Yeah, you got to check him out. He's in the grow off too.
I've
It's too
seen
bad.
that.
It's too bad we're not on the same team because then we would definitely know who's going to win. He says it's cold. I bet it is cold there. I guess I would take my cold instead of your cold.
I don't want no cold. I want to take the cold of like Australia or something.
Yeah, that's not cold.
That's
Red
that's
Silo
exact.
Homestead. How's it going?
Hey there. Hold on. G
Need to send some of
G.
the 13 degrees down your way. Yeah. I sent Danny to snow last year, and he was mad at me.
You didn't send no snow. You sent an Arctic front. They killed
Yeah.
all my tomatoes. You think I was mad?
Yeah. That's what, hey, it happened.
No, it doesn't. It's not supposed to.
I didn't turn my big fans on yet, so
You better not either. I'm gonna go up there and punch you in the neck, make your toenails fall off or something.
I just transplanted my grow off plants.
What you grow it?
I'm growing some kind of leaf cabbage.
I
I'm
seen that.
doing two baby bok choy and a Swiss chard in a
Nice.
5 gallon bucket.
You should have tried to pop cho all of that in a 5 gallon bucket.
Yes,
Oh
sir.
wow. You should have tried to pak choy.
A pak choy.
Pak choy. Bok choy, pak choy.
I
I don't
got
know.
I got baby bok choy.
The I grew one time that ended up being like 8 pounds in pure light.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Sunday backyard farmer.
What's
Welcome.
up, brother?
How's it going tonight?
Abundant acres. You need to keep your fans to yourself.
you
1 degree Fahrenheit.
know,
No,
if I
thank
if
you.
I turn my fans on and Abundant Acres turns their fans on, you'll be screwed.
I'll be very mad. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, I bet you would. Especially if it really worked.
Hey, I got the electricity hooked up in the greenhouses now. I fought for an hour trying to figure out why my lights wouldn't come on. And what the story when I finally got everything ready to flip the breakers, I was like, then it started to rain. So I was like, oh God, had to stop. Then I went outside, started flipping one break at a time, flip, 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 and it worked. Well, I got the lights all hooked up in the two greenhouses that were already ready. And I hung 3 lights today in the other greenhouse. And I tied everything into the switch. I flipped the brake on now and it didn't blow up. So I'm like, oh yeah, boy. flip that light switch, nothing. I'm like, what the F? So I take my receptacle and my light support, out the boxes to make sure that everything wasn't one of the wire nuts or something didn't come off of it, or that I had everything right, because I'm not an electrician at all, but I can shock myself.
Right.
Went back and forth for about an hour and a half trying to figure out why the lights wouldn't work, and even climbed up, checked my connections on the lights to make sure they were there. Finally, I'm like, well, maybe something's wrong, because in the breaker box, every other breaker box, the black wires on the right connection and the white wires on the right connection. That way, everything's standard in each box. Got to the fourth box, because I have one under the house and then one in each greenhouse. Got to the fourth box, and just the exact same. Well, after an hour and a half, it's like, well, let me try swapping them. Well, the breaker connections inputs are backwards. So instead of having the first breaker, I needed it on the second breaker. So I wasted an hour and a half because I wouldn't. Good thing I licked my fingers and touched the thing inside to see if it was hot.
Yeah, you make sure the light switch was turned on.
I did. I went back and forth, and it looks good. Did you get shot? I hope not, because if I did, I don't remember getting shot. Or if you mean getting shocked, no, I didn't get shocked at all. I took my time. I was nervous cutting that wire, though, under the house. Had an idea where it went in the breaker box, and then it came out where we have a gas hot water heater now. It used to be electric at one point. So I kept looking at it and wanting to cut. I'm not sure if I'm going to say, not on this live, Eric. No. I did get invited to John's live later tonight with a Grow, so I might. But me and Cole's been playing around with the microphone and the speakers and everything, singing a little bit.
Hey, living life.
Hey, TT.
TT, how's it going? Welcome, Funky.
Hey,
I just watched your video tonight. I'm gonna have another one coming out. I just started my cracky 5-gallon tote, and actually I got some lettuce. I put some new lettuce seeds in tonight too.
Oh, Colt didn't shoot me. He's worried about me shooting him back with that airsoft. Oh, I'll blister him too if he shoots me. His Nerf blaster.
That's funny.
That airsoft shoots about 300 rounds a minute. Oh yeah. It's you and you could adjust it to where if you hold the trigger, it'll shoot from like 100 rounds a minute to 300. There's an adjustment on it, and it's ridiculous seeing 100 go off. It's like 300 would be crazy.
That'd be funny.
We shoot it in the from outside. We shoot it into the garage, and then Colt goes looks for it one at a time. I'm going to look for it. Go look for it, dude.
Right, you throw 300 of them. That'll take up some time.
You'll never find them all. I'm worried about shooting them in the yard, then the lawnmower starts throwing them all over the place.
Yep.
I had to cut the grass day before yesterday. It was time.
Well, I had to shovel day before yesterday.
That's good for you. That's for sending me the cold air last year.
That's all right. It's okay. It wasn't enough snow. I needed a snowblower, and I could just shovel it, and that's good exercise.
You need to exercise.
I do.
I do. You see, if you lived in Louisiana, you'd still be working, and you wouldn't have to find other things to do for exercise.
That's true. I got to get rid of my COVID weight.
COVID weight?
Yep.
I wish I could blame it on that.
I put on a couple pounds. I don't know if I can blame it on that either, but that's what I'm saying.
My extra weight's from my job. We get to eat way too much at work.
Yeah.
And they pay for it. They pay you to eat and everything.
Yep. Awesome hat. See that? Yeah.
Oh, I wore my Vineyard Chicks shirt day before yesterday. I went to Lowe's like 3 times one day, and I had my Vineyard Chicks shirt on. It was the same lady working every time. Well, the last time I went, the lady's like, I think you're just here checking me out. Are you really, spending a lot of money? I'm like, I'm just too old to remember, what I need. And I got the wrong thing one time, and the other time I forgot exactly. So She's like, oh, I recognize you because of that shirt, the Vineyard Chicks. I'm like, yeah, you from Louisiana? It's the Vineyard Chicks. So I told them about the channel and everything.
What's up, Woodcutter?
Pull my finger, man.
Hi, Ann. How you doing? All kinds of Nerf bullets he mowed and banged.
We leave them on the floor. The dogs eat them. Then we find them in the yard in the poop.
Nice.
Hey, why don't you share? We got a whole bunch of people in here. Why don't you share the link?
Yes, I could. Yes. Yeah, I was gonna wear my Cajun hydroponic shirt. The Vineyard Chicks it's a t-shirt. It's a little chilly for that, but I went to go get my Cajun hydroponics one, and it was it's in the wash.
Ball, the hoodie looks good. I just got the back done on Colts because he's impatient little a-hole.
Fart, glitter, and rainbows.
He had my shirt on in the video today.
Yeah.
It was on another one, but it was like, oh, seen that right away. Boy, he was dancing. I'm like, oh, yeah, the Cajun hydroponic shirt.
I know. I got to get some shirts made, I think. I don't know.
I better get one.
Well, if I make them, I will get you one.
I'm starting to learn all kind of stuff with that cricket finally.
I got to come up with a new logo, though. I think my logo, I don't think it would look right on a shirt.
We had tried that, remember? And, well, I mean, as far as with the cricket circuit, whatever, it didn't,
right.
It didn't, I couldn't do well with it. I'll put it like that. Break it
out. I think I got to do a different logo for a shirt. Yeah, it must be nice still wearing t-shirts there.
I was wearing t-shirts day before yesterday. Well, yesterday, and then we wake up this morning, it's 38 degrees. I was mad.
Yeah, but that's only light jacket weather. And then by afternoon, it's t-shirt weather again.
Oh, you come down here at 38 degrees and you tell me if it's light jacket weather. We done had this conversation about the humidity we have over here in the air.
There you go. Can you make a Woodcutter a shirt that looks like he doesn't have a shirt on?
I can't. But for like $17, I think it is on Amazon, they sell them, and you put the shirt on, and boy, you look all bowed up and everything.
Yeah, winter's bipolar. Ours has been pretty bipolar too. It's just starting now to get cold and snowing. Oh, Sheena's pushing the mankini. So that's what Arkansas Woodcutter can get for a shirt that looks like you don't have a shirt on. Thank you, TT. Yeah, hit that like button, everybody.
Hit the like button. Jeff shared the link up top. If y'all want to come on and visit, y'all come and visit. Y'all don't want to just hear us talk.
Right, we got nothing.
How was your gumbo, Jeff? Tell us how your Cajun gumbo made by Yankee Man tasted.
It was good. I had that was actually not 2 helpings. It was like a helping and a half.
For
so
real?
I ended up mixing it all, and then I just put it, my leftovers, I just put it in a little Tupperware thing, and I'll eat that tomorrow for lunch. But it's good. I like it.
It is. And usually that's what I would be eating right now.
It's too bad you couldn't taste it. It's probably the best gumbo you ever had. Yankee grown peppers, onions, and a gumbo.
It's not gumbo.
What you mean?
It's not gumbo.
It was gumbo. What do you call it then?
Huh? I don't know. I want one that truly emphasizes the dad bod. You don't need a shirt to emphasize the dad bod. Let me tell you, the dad bod's in style right now. And I got that in spades. I mean, I have the typical dad bod at 50, almost.
I did make gumbo, TT. I think I did. I don't know if I think I did put it. I did a video on the one. The first one I made. I've made it twice now. But the first one I made a video on it. I don't think I gave any kind of recipe instructions, though, because I didn't want to give anybody anything that I didn't know was going to come out good.
You went through it. You talked how you did it and what you were doing. You did segments of it, what you were putting in it and how you did it and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But the main thing, you can't put too many onions. in a gumbo. I mean, it's
Ben G, how's it going?
you know.
What's up, man?
What's going on? There you go.
How's it going?
It's going all right, man. I'm just laid up, relaxing.
Can't beat that.
Hey, Jeff, I remember your gumbo video, man. I was cracking up, man. I was like, let's see how he does it, man. It looked good, though, man, for the first time.
Thanks. Yeah, it came out good. I had Danny on the phone here and there too.
See, I wasn't even gonna throw that out there, Jeff. I was gonna let you say, look, I did it. I ordered what I needed and I threw it together on my own. I wasn't even gonna tell people.
I want
that
to
you
tell
had me on
people.
Like 2.5 hours, he had me on the phone and video chat. He's like, what am I supposed to do now? What am I supposed
I don't know about 2.5 hours,
Yeah,
but I mean,
that's what it. I'm going to tell the truth now, Jeff. It was probably 4 hours, not 2.5.
okay. But yeah, for the first time, it came out good. I was actually surprised. It was the gravy was a little bit thicker than it probably should have been, but the second time I did it, I think it came out even better. So
You're going to learn. Like I told you, the first time it's going to take you a few times to get it. It's not if you get it right the first time you messed up, you'll never get it right again. So,
so I messed the first one up a little bit, I think, but I mean, it still tasted good. It was just pretty thick.
Well, and I told you not to add that extra after. You're like, well, it's a little bit thin. It's a gumbo. It's supposed to be thin. I'm just going to add a little bit more. That looks like a lot, Jeff. Oh, my God, it's thick.
Mr. Woodcutter.
What's up, brother?
That was quick. I turned my head to look to see if my iPad was here. And when I turned my head back, I was already in the show.
Just like a gunslinger, you got to pay attention.
Thanks, Jeff. I was hoping at least you'd make me give you a thumbs up or something backstage before you brought me up. Oh, no. Here you go.
I can put you back down if you want, and I'll wait for the thumbs up.
All right. Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Here, hold on. All right, there you go. Let me know when you're ready.
Hey! Thumbs up.
All right, good.
You'll probably lose half of your viewership now, and the other half is robots, so we're good.
All right, that's okay.
I doubt that. We ain't losing nobody. They're just going to come here now.
It is freezing here. It's about 34 degrees, 80% humidity. It feels sub-zero.
Tell him what it feels like when you got humidity and it's cold. Jeff don't believe that.
It's colder than 18 is for you with 20% humidity.
Yeah.
30 degrees, 24 degrees with 70 and 80% humidity is colder. It's cold to the bone. It
hurts. It hurts. I tell him that all the time. He tells me I'm a sissy.
Well, that might be true anyway.
Hey, first of all, Jeff thinks he can make gumbo.
I can. I can make gumbo now.
No, I'm closer to making gumbo than you are because at least my steak connects. But I can't make gumbo either.
I'd have to make it.
Where'd you go?
Hey, he left us.
He was laying there and playing with the baby toys, it looked like.
If I ever go down to Louisiana, I'll have to make Danny some of my gumbo, and he'll have to see if it's worth eating.
Oh, we'll put it. Hey, I'll try it. You can ask Sheena everywhere we go. If they have gumbo, I'm trying the gumbo. And I don't hold anything. I just want to see what people's versions of it is. You know, I've had really good soup that was called gumbo. And, you know, it's
the gumbo that I compare everything to. We went to New Orleans back after Katrina, and we were down there milling around and doing, you know, this and that. And we stopped at this place. There was a local there that fed us like the best shrimp po' boy I'd ever had in my life. And we were like, hey, where do we go for supper? He said, you can go down to this place. He said, but that's where all the tourists go. He said, you need to go to this place. And so he sent us to this little house. And like, you didn't even know that it was a restaurant. And when we got there, luckily there was a girl walking in. She said, you're in the right place. Follow me. And so we walked with her in. And inside, this place was nice. Like, had carpet and wait staff was all white top, and we got some gumbo in there. Point of the story is gumbo. We got some gumbo in there.
Nice.
And the gumbo flavor was like 1 or 2 steps off of scraping the goop. You know, when you cook something just a little too much,
right.
It had that sort of spoon on the bottom of a pan flavor. And it was filled with these tiny bay shrimp, and I could never repeat it. It did have okra in it, for those of you that are purist on the okra in your gumbo.
No.
But I don't eat okra because it feels like I've got a loogie in my mouth when I get a piece of okra in there. You know, I'm a textural eater. Forever, I wouldn't even eat a tomato because it felt like it had little ball bearings. But okra was in it. That's what I compare all my gumbos to, is true New Orleans gumbo. And there was none left. And I think I even ran my finger in the bowl, you know, for that last bit. It was so good.
If you like New Orleans gumbo, you'd really like the Cajun gumbo. It's different. You know, we're only separated by 100 miles, but there's a lot of difference in it. Not saying the gumbo that you tried over there wasn't somebody from the area I'm in. They use a lot less roux in the gumbos. It's much thinner. To thicken it up, a lot of the people over there add cornstarch to the gumbo to help thicken it up a little bit. It still has a good flavor and everything, but it's like you said, it doesn't have the roux flavor or the cooked through, scraping the bottom of the pan, and you know, it's really gumbo's amazing. There's a lot of different ways to make it, and that's what I was saying. I don't take away anybody that makes a gumbo. I'll try it. You know, anywhere we go in the United States, I'll give it a shot.
But gumbo was just like an old French one pot, right? Isn't that what the word means? A one pot?
Something like that. Whatever you have, you know, you put in what you have. You start flour and oil was cheap back then. So, you know, you'd start with that, you'd add water and you'd throw whatever you had. Okra was abundant, you know, you had plenty of okra. Chickens, everybody had their own chicken. So you throw chicken in, or you go cast netting in the ditches, catch a few shrimp, you know, whatever you had. People put whatever you have.
A lot of that old timer survival food that we've sort of forgotten about, or the dishes that we love and we care about. Hold on just a second. Ooh. They came from survival stock, like what people lived off of because it's all they had, you know.
I got to try jambalaya.
The thing about people around here is like, oh man, my God, gumbo's so expensive to make now. Gumbo's not expensive to make. You just gumbo is made for the broth. You know, you get your small piece of meat, you eat a bunch of cheap rice, and you get a bunch of broth with it.
Yeah,
it's just to the point now. People eat so much more meat in it that it makes it so expensive to make. When I make it, I go 5 gallons at a time, and we freeze it. That looks good.
I got to limit myself because if I do the bottle, I'll overdo it. Cheers, Jim.
Yeah, jambalaya is good and easy to make, Jeff.
Yeah, I have to try that sometime, maybe.
Well, you a Yankee, you might like pastalaya better.
What's a pastalaya?
They use pasta instead of rice. It's really good. Really good. Primal Cajun, I think, has a video how he does it. His is amazing. Like, really amazing.
Jambalaya is good. Yeah, something else is going to have to be on the list. So you have to come up here, and then you can try my gumbo.
Who?
You. Who?
No. Dude, we talked about that already. It ain't happening. No.
It could be in the summertime.
It don't matter.
We ought to have a secret bourbon moonshine cook-off.
I would drink all of it. I promise you. I couldn't make any of it. I would like to see how it's done, though.
I would too. You know, I took notes on that. End of the world, the man who makes the medicine.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If you can make the corn and make the medicine, you're going to be doing well.
On a cold night, as cold as it is, you know, in Arkansas, one of the things that we deal with here, and you do as well, is the humidity, right? And when those temperatures are up, we get the most beautiful molds and lichen and spongy stuff that grows on the bottom. And it grows really good in the late winter and early spring, and it makes everything mushy. But we end up with a lot of lung infections and crap in our chest. Jeff, y'all don't have that sort of stuff going on up there, do you?
I mean, we have moss and some, like the mushrooms and stuff like that, but not a whole lot of stuff that would be airborne like that.
Mm-hmm.
See, we're still getting pollen off of the trees right now. The plants don't know what they want to do.
Did y'all get super cold here the other day?
The lowest we've been is 34 so far this year, and it was only for like 2 hours.
Okay. I'm gonna have a smoke, y'all. I know I'm not supposed to, but I'm gonna have one anyway.
Yeah, it hasn't been super cold here either.
No, we went from 32 to 74 in less than 24 hours.
Yeah.
The other day we were 82, and in less than 30 hours we were at 36. 82 to 36. Hey there, Swafford Homestead.
What's up? Is that Brent or Cindy?
Hey, Swafford, how are you? Thanks for coming in.
Eric, all this food's talk making me hungry.
You want some boudin?
When we went to pick Maya up the other day, we stopped at the gas station. I told Sheena, when we were pulling, I'm like, get me a link of boudin. We start getting gas. And I said, well, go ahead and give me 2 when you go in there. So she turns around, you sure? Did you want anything else? I'm like, shit, get me 3 of them. We getting ready to be on a long ride. Get me 3 of them. She comes back outside. They ain't got no boudin. So the guy right in front of me bought all the boudin they had cooked. I was mad.
Bunky says my gumbo looks better than yours.
No.
All right, maybe it wasn't quite those exact words, but I'm sure that's what she meant.
Jeff, if it makes you feel better, I'm confident in my gumbo cooking abilities. No, I don't want snow. I don't.
Oh, Bunky's in here. I'm drinking in front of children, y'all. I'm in trouble.
That's medicine.
Hey, Bunky.
That was medicine.
I think for years being in the South, we had that anti-drinking Victorian era stuff. I think we got a bad understanding of how alcohol and human beings are supposed to interact. That old prohibition stuff in the South stayed forever and ever. They would say never take a Baptist fishing. You know why? He'll drink all your beer. Always take 2 because they won't drink in front of each other.
Hey, John, how's it going tonight? I hear Danny's going to be on your live with you. Should be a good time.
I didn't start drinking until I was almost 22.
Yeah.
And then I took off until...
Hey, there's Willie Grow. I was wondering if that was the John you were talking about.
Yes.
The wee man. But
I've about decided John has short man syndrome. He's just mad at the world because he was born too short. I'm just kidding around, John. I'm just kidding.
He's good. It's the truth. But yeah, I didn't start drinking until I was almost 22, and I drank from 22 until I met my wife.
Right on.
Steady. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
The only thing that stopped me from being an alcoholic was going offshore for 14 days to 6 to 8 weeks.
Right on. When I got to a point to where I wanted to drink about 10 or 11 o'clock in the morning. I was drinking so much, and I realized I had a problem. Luckily, I was able to quit drinking, and now I can drink occasionally here and there. But if I allowed myself to drink like I want to drink, I would not function very well at all.
When I start, I normally end up. I start with the Coors Light, drink 3 or 4 of those, and it's time for some Jägermeister. And after the Jägermeister, it's time to go to the bar and dance and have fun, and then not come home. And it's just like, not gonna happen. I ain't doing that.
I don't drink much.
You drink more than I do, Jeff. Most of the time.
No.
Oh yeah.
If I get a 12-pack, it'll probably last me like 4 months.
That's more
easy.
I didn't tell you the story. 2 years ago, Sheena bought me a 12-pack of beer for the 4th of July, and I finished it on the 4th of July the next year.
He just doesn't like beer. The moral of that story is she bought the wrong kind.
Oh no, she buys exactly. When I like it, when it tastes good, I don't stop, and after, like I said, after about 3 beers, I literally start itching right here, and it's I need Jägermeister. It's habit, I need to. So I either start drinking a Jägermeister. What's up, Lion Crest? How you doing, brother?
What's going on?
They kicked off. Did you see their MIG? Their Grow Off 2020?
I was watching it.
Yeah.
Yep.
Great idea. They're gonna have so much fun with that.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's too bad Lioncrest is not on the winning team anymore.
Right.
Because Eco picked me, but
Man, Eco is an old dog, and you know, old dogs they got all them old tricks the young dogs don't know. So you're rolling with the right guy. Eco is quality. I tell you who, Turf Therapy, man. I don't know. Doesn't he live in Alaska?
No, Turf. Right. Well, Turf now lives in Germany.
Okay.
He's in the military.
Okay. Well, he is an incredible human being. I'm really glad to have met him. I Broke Farmer years when we were back in Shed Wars days. Micro Farmer told me, he said, "You got to check this guy out. He's threatening people to grow off against him for $5." So I slid over to his channel and checked him out, and he was incredible, Broke Farmer. And so I started watching Broke, and then Broke turned me on to Lion Crest, Nico Neighbor, and it's just a great core group of people over there just making it happen.
Hold on.
Yeah.
John and Kenny, y'all need to text each other if y'all going to flirt with each other. Don't be doing that on Jeff's Live. We don't need the bromance on here.
I threw the link out there. I'll throw the link out again if anybody else wants to come up and chat. We're just shooting a breeze.
Enjoying it, having a good time.
Yeah.
Don't talk about the breeze. The breeze is cold over here today.
It is 31 degrees right now here.
Oof. You got me beat.
Well, you don't got me beat, but apparently the cold must be different.
It was 17 this morning when we woke up. It's going to rain, warm up a little bit, get in the 50s and rain, back down in the 30s, and we're 30s and 20s. This time of year, I watch the lows more than I watch the highs. I'm worried this stuff's going to freeze. We've had some good chill days. If you've got fruit trees or you've got outdoor perennial fruit like blackberries, blueberries, any of that, gooseberries, whatever you guys are growing up north, it really getting some good fruit set time here in the South, which is unusual for us.
24 at Swafford. Eric's got 17.
Yeah.
It's 19 here right now. It's supposed to be 11 tonight.
I'm 51. The low tonight's supposed to be 46. So we could be struggling.
Yeah, see, 46 is almost t-shirt weather here.
You're welcome to come give it a shot, Jeff, and I'll even make you gumbo. You can come over here in 46 and tell me it's t-shirt weather with a little 3 to 4 mile an hour wind.
I'd say in the springtime when it starts to hit about 55 or so, it's starting to get short sleeve shirt t-shirt weather.
I don't remember how long ago it's been. It's been a few years, but when Sheena's dad passed away, we went to Ohio. It was around Thanksgiving, and it was 31, 32 degrees.
Don't leave John alone in a room with noise.
It was around 31 degrees while we were over there. The people were all bundled up and everything. I was outside on the steps smoking a cigarette in shorts and a wife beater. You know, it's just totally different. People are looking at me like I'm crazy.
21. That's not too bad. 21.
Ooh, hey, it's cold. I don't want any colder, y'all.
It's not the most wonderful time of the year for sure.
Have y'all been buying your trays? I bought a bunch of trays from Bootstrap Farmer. They've got deals on them right now. I bought 30 trays.
We had talked about that last time. I bought a whole bunch of them a couple years ago from Greenhouse Megastore. I think it was boxes. I bought cases by the 100. But I have found a local, the Urban Naturalist. He's about 20 miles from me, and he sells used pots and trays and different things like that for pennies on the dollar. So I picked up quite a bit from him. Expecting at some point to start growing some plants to sell, different plants out the front yard, along with some of the tomatoes and cucumbers and stuff. A lot of people asked me last year if I'd be selling any tomatoes or cucumbers that are started because they're not happy with some of the local places. So we might try a little bit of that this year.
I may lose you here. I've messed my phone up.
Yeah, I don't. I'm not starting any seeds for a while yet.
I got way too many started. I've realized today I'm working on my 6th tray, and it's January, and we may lose power, and I may lose everything I got started, and everything I'm starting will have to be taken outside and hardened off and fertilized, and it's just there's a lot of work between now and March the 23rd, which is our average last frost date.
Wow, that's when you're gonna look to plant. You can have some big or around there.
All I've planted right now is like herbs, thyme, lavender, stuff that's going to take a long time to get sort of big, and I can just kind of let it do its thing. It doesn't. The cold weather really doesn't affect it. So early in the greenhouse, I can get it outside, and then I'll start my peppers and tomatoes and stuff like that. But I'm working on color right now. I'm working on flowers, bringing something I can get out that'll get the pollinators up quick. And take care of the pollination. But I'm gonna try to grow super sauce. A lot of flowers this year.
Yeah, we'll see. I've never grown. Have anybody guys grown super sauce tomatoes? No. I've never grown those.
What are they, Eric? What are they? I'm sorry.
No worries. It's probably a sauce type tomato, like aroma. But
I think those of us that put tomatoes up, that's what we're looking for. We're looking for a good saucer. Amish paste is the best one I know about. Has he got something else?
If you haven't tried picas, the seeds are a bit expensive. But I have a few seeds. I bought 25 seeds to try and grow this year. One of my friends locally grew them, and it's basically a Roma tomato. A little bit more juice in it, but the plants are 3 to 4 times the size with 3 to 4 times the production.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
Big canning tomatoes. Yeah, my last frost date's May 3rd.
Wow.
I think our last frost date sometimes in March. Probably close to our March.
Are you zone 9?
9A or 9B? We're right on that border.
Yeah.
But we do where we're located at. The frost date is odd because of the way that the fronts and stuff sling in. So the frost date pushes back because we'll normally have a cold front in November that kills everything out, but then we'll be basically shorts and t-shirts until mid-January, beginning of February. Then when the Arctic fronts start passing through, we start getting the tail ends of them.
Yeah.
It doesn't always hit us, but there's always the possibility. So that adjusts our last frost date, which is why it's nice to have the greenhouses to be able to grow the tomatoes.
What's your gut feeling this year on the frost? What do you feel? What do you think? What's it going to be like?
My thing I always plant cucumbers at the end of February, depending how my work schedule works. It might be the middle of February or the end of February. Right before I go on my work schedule, the latest part of February, that's when I put my cucumber seeds in the ground. I don't start cucumbers in pots. I'll put them in the ground. and everybody's like, oh my God, if you have a freeze, you know, it's horrible. You're going to lose all your seeds. I literally buy a pound of cucumber seeds for $11 with $17 with shipping. You know, that's close to 100,000 seeds for 17. If it kills some plants, you know, oh well. If it doesn't, I'm way ahead of everybody. You know, way ahead of everybody. And
you know, and if they don't sprout right away, that freeze is not going to kill them. I put tomato seeds in the snow last year. I just figured, what the hell? I got a few more seeds. I just stuck them in the ground. It snowed on them. It was like 3 or 4 weeks before my last frost date, and it snowed and it froze. Those seeds still sprouted and came up.
As long as the seeds don't pop, they're
Right.
they're gonna hold tight, you know.
Yeah.
But we normally, because in that time we start getting the ground temperatures up around 70, 75 degrees. But we'll get the tail end of an Arctic front like we did last year at the end of February that kills everything. But you know, it's funny the way that people look at it. Oh my God, you're gonna waste, you know, 30 minutes planting 100 foot of seeds, and like a 100-foot row, like 50 feet of cucumber seeds, 50 cucumber seeds is gonna break you.
Right.
But you know, we've even had cold fronts that come through that didn't kill all the plants. And you know, at the beginning of April, I'm eating cucumbers.
So are those Ernie Nose? Those are canning tomatoes? Are they bigger canning tomatoes than normal? You said it's a rare heirloom. I've never heard of those.
I've heard of them. I've never seen a picture.
I mean, I've grown last year. I grew San Marzanos and paste, and yeah, the Amish paste tomatoes. I grew both of those last year, but I've never heard of the other ones.
I've got my tomato seeds sitting out on the cabinet. I've been supposed to plant them for the last week.
I've got some Roman stripes I'm going to plant. I'm going to plant Amish paste, a Chadwick, which is like a salad, salad size, not a grape tomato basically, but it's like a salad slightly. You remember when Shoney's Big Boy was having buffets? You remember their salad bar?
Yeah, it's a large. It's called a large cherry tomato.
Yeah,
they're about the size of a golf ball, a little bit bigger.
That's it, and they're perfect, man. I'm going to grow some of those. I'm going to put with cherry tomatoes this year. I'm going to put them down in my working zones where I'm expanding, and I'm really trying to push the boundaries of what I'm growing, my growing zones. So while I'm down there working, I've got a little snack. You know, I can refresh myself down there while I'm working. But 3 to 5, maybe 6 cherry tomato plants at the most here. But they make excellent sauce. At the end of the year, when you're scrapping for finishing out pans of sauce, cherry tomatoes come through, and they'll finish out a batch of tomatoes.
I'm not starting my cherry tomato seeds until beginning of February. In
You're
fact,
gonna like them. You're gonna like them. You're gonna like them cherry tomatoes I sent you.
Well, I have those right here. You know,
what did he give you?
They're pink bumblebee.
That's not what you sent me. It says seeds that won't grow.
Right. That's what I sent you. Correct. Yes.
No, yeah, it's the pink bumblebee. You also sent me a couple others last year that I want to try. The seeds I'm starting now is just going to be for the greenhouse. It's basically going to be probably 150 big beef tomatoes and maybe 5 or 10 Cherokee purples. I want to put a few Cherokee purples in the greenhouse. I still haven't decided. The third greenhouse is going to be split in half. One half is going to be for growing, and the other half is going to be for seed starting and maintenance and everything, you know, putting them out as they're growing and stuff. I still haven't decided what I want to plant in there. If it's going to be cucumbers, it's probably going to be tomatoes this year, and then possibly cucumbers in the fall.
Did I send you purple Russian?
I think you did. I'd have to, dude. I got so many seeds right now. Mr. Mark, we literally bought last year a 7 cubic foot freezer. Last year for Black Friday, they were on sale for like $180. We bought 2 of them, one just for seeds, and I can't put anything else in it right now. I did go. I mean, I went crazy when my wife and I first started dating. I went crazy. But last year around Christmas, so many people were so generous and sent so many seeds. It's like, oh my God.
Yeah.
You know, when I was out at the property and I had the, you know, the half-acre garden, it would have been great to put everything, but it's like over here with the greenhouses, I know what I want to put in them. It's the raised beds.
When you start growing hydroponically in greenhouse, you've got to have a plant that can perform under a certain set of standards. You got to have something that you can put in, and you know its growth habit. It matches the growth style that you're growing in, and you can work with it. And you're growing determinants, so that way they stop growing. You get a uniform harvest.
Indeterminate. John, we'll see in a little bit, brother. It's an indeterminate. That way they grow. I pruned the suckers off of them. They grow. We actually had plants this year that were close to 20 feet long, growing through the springtime. We did close to, it was over 1,400 pounds of tomatoes total, but the actual tomatoes we could eat, because we had a lot that split when it started getting hot. And we got some issues with some mice towards the end of the season. So we had actually over 1,400 pounds of tomatoes.
Yeah.
Just out of 1,000 square feet, we had over 1,400 pounds of tomatoes.
Wow.
Yeah.
1.4 pounds per square foot. That's nice.
Yes. And we started late because the freeze got us, and we shut down early because I couldn't get the shade cloth.
Right.
You know, with the bread trays. Where's the camera? You know, the bread trays that they bring the loaves of bread into the grocery store?
Yeah.
I have a friend that's a bread guy, so he gave me 6 of those. At one point, we were picking almost 3 of those a day. You know, and you know, we gave away a lot of tomatoes. The oil field was down because of everything that was going on. So I had a bunch of friends. You know,
it got good.
I was like, hey, we got tomatoes at the beginning of the season. Like, oh my God, you know, they're running over here. We got a few cucumbers too. They didn't do what we wanted, but you know, we did. So they come running about halfway through the season. I'm like, hey, I got tomatoes. Keep that crap at your house. You know, I'll be there in another week or 2. We don't need no more tomatoes. And so my wife put we had at one point we had like 60 pounds we picked in one day. And she put a thing out on Facebook. You know, hey, we have some tomatoes if anybody's looking for them.
Yeah.
And that's all it took. You know, one post, and 60 pounds were gone in 15 minutes.
Nice.
You know, and just people passing in front of the house. They pull in, hey, you know, start visiting. Are you selling tomatoes? I'll give you some if you like. Well, so, you know, I'd pick them 4 or 5 pounds of tomatoes.
Yeah.
And, you know, let me give you some money. No, I don't want any money. You know, they go to get in their car and they're like throwing money out the window. You're not going to take it if I try to give it to you here. You know, here, take it. One guy came over here and literally, he's like, I had given him like 5 pounds of tomatoes and I wouldn't take any money. He calls back. He's like, I'd like some more tomatoes. I'm like, come pick them up. I'm going to be at work. You know, I'm going to have a bag with your name on it on the porch.
Yeah.
And he's like, I want to leave you some money. No, don't leave no money. Well, he comes, he picks up his bag of stuff. We have a little refrigerator on the porch so that we don't have to come. Hey, Miss Gail.
Hey, Gail.
Look, this lady's knowledge about herbs is so vast, and you can trust Gail. You know, some people will tell you a line of crap, and you don't know if they're telling you the truth or not. If Miss Gail tells you something, you can trust that. Anyway, sorry.
Oh, no worries. No, but the guy literally put $100 bill in the ice box on the porch. You know, we have a small ice box to where during the summertime I don't have to come in and out the house when I'm working outside on the porch. He literally put a note, you know, thank you so much for what you're doing for the community and everyone else. And, you know, it's amazing that you don't want to take money because you could be easily charging $3 or $4 a pound for these tomatoes. And everybody that comes is like, what you're growing in, it's hydroponic. Oh, I don't eat that. Well, here, take some. Just try them. Knocking on the door at 8 o'clock at night. Can I have some more of them tomatoes? Oh, my God.
You got tomato crack growing over there, man.
The thing about hydroponics, you can literally still make a beautiful tomato without the flavor in it by reducing the fertilizer you use. You know, it'll boost the profits.
Good night, Swafford Homestead. Thanks for stopping in.
Have a good evening, Mr. Brett. You can like increase the profits that you have by using less fertilizer.
That's another guy right there. If he tells you,
Mr.
you
Brett,
can take that to the bank.
Oh yeah, he's. It's amazing what he does. It is. But yeah, with hydroponics, you can literally you can adjust the flavor. You can add different things. I've seen people add
take care,
molasses. You know, I've seen people add molasses to their circulating tank,
right,
to be able to put more sweetness in. Put sweetness into the tomatoes.
Huh.
You know, they'll add a half gallon of
I've heard
molasses.
that in fruiting. You want them to have more carbohydrates, right? More aminos, and so that sugar does something to the microbes and allows them to take up nutrient in a different way that'll make the fruit sweeter, right?
It makes the fruit sweeter, yes.
Yeah.
I'm not exactly sure the science on it, but it does make the fruit sweeter. It also has more nitrogen. It adds nitrogen to your water. The syrup, adds nitrogen to your water. But it's supposed to really make the fruit so much sweeter. I've never tried it.
What was that?
Adding molasses.
Oh yeah, I've seen that before too.
To the tank.
Yeah.
In a soil, you will add a molasses to like jumpstart the bacteria and the microbe life. Correct. So if you've got a soil that's kind of sluggish and you've hit it with nitrogen, you've hit it with potassium, you've hit it with phosphorus. It's got the three minerals. It's all there. You can hit it sometimes with some sugars like cane syrup or molasses or even sugar water, and it'll spark that stuff to life. Honey works, but I would refrain from using honey in my soils because it's it's antibacterial, antifungal. It could, counter. I don't know. Honey to me doesn't belong in soils. But
well, my pop's an old Cajun. He's like, man, listen, when the tomatoes start slowing down, you go out there with an old cheap can of Coke. When he says Coke, it means anything. It's not just a Coca-Cola. It's anything. You go out there with an old Coke and you draw that a little bit all the way down the end, and it excites everything in the ground, and it makes it get pretty. They be smiling in the morning, Bob. Pop's a trip.
Yeah. They knew that stuff, though, man.
Exactly.
They might not have been able to say microbes or might call it, but they knew what was up.
They didn't know why it was working, but they know it worked.
Yeah.
It's it's amazing. As far as taking ammonia, just regular ammonia, household ammonia, and spraying it on a compost pile with water and Coke, soda pop and everything. He's like, man, you burn that down. And I'm thinking, it's going to be on fire, but it's not. It's a super exciter. It gives all the microbiology inside of it everything it needs to kick off.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure the ants love it.
We get it. The ants are bad over here. I was fussing at the people in town that didn't want me to put my big greenhouse up. So that's a whole nother story. But I was fussing at them. I'm like, we pay all this money, but y'all can't even go along the side of the road and kill ant piles.
Right. He puts all the drinks in the compost.
Yep. We got ant piles on the side of the road like 2 feet tall right now from all the cold weather and the rain. I'm going to get me another happy. I'll see that. I'll be right back.
Another happy. Yeah.
Is that what he always calls them? He always calls them happies?
That's the first time I heard it, but
that's the first time I've heard them too. Man, look at that TV. Have you been watching any of the playoffs?
I missed last week, but this week I'm watching because my team's still in it. So
who is that?
Buffalo.
Oh, you're a Buffalo Bill fan. Is John still in here? He's a big Buffalo fan.
No, he left because he's got to get ready for his live. I think his live is at 8:00.
Okay. Buffalo has what I think is one of the best quarterbacks. Patrick Mahomes may be the best quarterback to come out of that recruiting class, but Josh Allen is an incredible quarterback for Buffalo. I love to watch Buffalo play. They're gritty, blue collar, hard working. They get after your butt on defense. They're just a fun football team to watch.
Yeah, they are. This past year, Patrick Mahomes wasn't doing that great at all. He started out on fire, and like halfway through the season, I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he just got broken down like all those running quarterbacks do. That's why I like Allen. I think Allen long term is going to be able to stick around the league and potentially be a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's got a good head on his shoulders. I mean, last week he threw like back-to-back interceptions, but
Oh, he plays for the Saints?
No.
No. I think what happened with Mahomes, the defense has caught up to him a little bit, but he was good enough. You know, he learned from it and he was able to adjust and move along and build back. I think Josh Allen's the same way. You know, I think they're both good enough quarterbacks to be able to eventually defenses catch up to you. Once they catch up to you, if you're able to swap it up and continue going.
Right. Yeah, Josh Allen's been pretty consistent. I mean, he's made some mistakes still, but
yeah, but he's only 4 years in?
5 years? Three or four, I think, something like that. But yeah, I mean, he's I think he's going to be good for the team as long as we can keep him.
Well, hopefully he don't. He comes to the Saints. We need a quarterback.
No, we don't want him to go there. He don't like it's too cold down there. Too cold with that humidity. He won't like that.
He might not.
Right? Oh, I have no idea.
Never seen that before.
If I have to find out what he put in his drink there.
Oh, it's been a while. Aromatic
bitters. I don't know.
Worcestershire sauce.
What's this here sauce?
I was trying to get Kenny the other night to say Tony Sasheries. When they showed I sent them the shirt that they want.
Yeah.
And we sent some seasoning to everyone also that won the shirt. And Kenny took it out. And I'm like, say the name. He's like, come on, say it. Nope.
Who was that? Kenny from Abundant Acres?
Mm-hmm.
What, did I miss something? Was it live or something?
It was live last couple weeks. I think I was at work when they did it.
Oh, I must have missed it.
I don't know. Like I was telling you earlier, my concept of time's bad because of work. I mean, the year's over already.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just hoping the Bills pull it off this weekend so we can keep moving forward.
Eric, I'm not sure what team Colt pulls for, much less who's going to show up.
I think he means the Colts.
Don't start with me, Jeffro. I know what he meant.
Yeah, Danny's Colt. He pulls for the Bills.
Big Rape and the Steelers. That's my team.
Sorry to hear that.
Steelers?
Look, I wish it was something, but I've been a Steeler fan since Bradshaw and the Steel Curtain. I've been a Steeler fan since way back.
Bradshaw and the Steel Curtain. Good God, I wasn't even born yet.
I'm old, man. I remember when dirt smelled new.
Oh. Hey, I tell all the old guys that come offshore like the real, because I'm getting in that point now. I'm starting to have guys. Well, I've been having guys that come to work with us offshore that are younger than my daughters now, and but the old guys that come out there, I tell them all the time, what was it like when you used to be able to drive to work out here instead of riding a boat? You know, what was it like before grass was growing and stuff? You know, and Them old men in the oil field, they're some assholes.
Oh man. I worked with a group like that. We were on a federal project when I was green. I was barely a first year apprentice, second year apprentice, and I worked with some old union hands that had been around. They'd worked together in the oil fields of Alaska and stuff, and they were on that job. And from the minute you walked in the door to the minute you left, you know who you were.
They pointed it out.
They were inventing who you were for you. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. They come out there and they tell you a hand. I thought they sent us a hand. You're not even a pinky, much less a hand. Get to work.
$25 an hour, though, you put up with a lot of stuff. When minimum wage was $8 and we were making $25 an hour,
cool.
That was good money.
Heck yeah.
And you put up with a lot just to come back to work every day.
Yeah, you can't do that no more. They laugh about it all the time. It's the new oil field. You can't talk to somebody. You talk to them wrong, they go to HR. I done had to go to sensitivity training already. Can't do it again.
Yep.
Sensitivity training?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, do you mind, Jeff, if I spur a little bit? Do you mind?
Go ahead.
So I think part of the problem with what's going on in society now is we removed all the bullies from school. Nobody knows how to have a thick skin. Back when we were growing up, you had to either go kill yourself or you had to get over it. You know what I mean? And killing yourself wasn't an option.
Nope.
So you had to get over it and you had to gain some thick skin. But somewhere along the way, these kids, they quit learning how to, I don't know.
They don't understand how to they don't understand how to take compliments. They don't understand how to take negativity because they don't get it. It's unusual for them to get it because it's a shame.
Yeah. And it doesn't have to be. I used to fight with them when I was teaching in school, them being the kids. And I used to fight with those kids and just like, give yourself a chance to learn something. Give yourself, if you're not willing to be wrong, you can't learn anything.
That's right.
And they're so busy trying to be right. And I don't know. The bullies did benefit us because you knew if your stuff wasn't straight, the bully was going to pick on you. And so you made sure that you weren't a target for the bully. So you learned how to get out of the target of a bully. That's an important lesson bullies teach you. Another important lesson is when somebody says things about you that aren't true, what do you do with that?
Yeah.
Bullies taught us how to deal with that. So by removing all this bullying, and it still really goes on. You know what I'm saying? But it's just pretensies it doesn't. But when the adults quit being involved in the affairs of bullies and kids got real thin skin. They quit respecting and listening to authority. And that's where we lost it, is when children lost respect for authority and grown-ups.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's not just that. When parents quit demanding respect from their kids and demanding respect that the kids show other adults, that's a big part of it also. People, you shouldn't tell your son to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. But you know what? You need to carry your ass. My son's going to say yes, sir, and yes, ma'am. Whether he likes it or not. He's going to shake a man's hand when they meet and the man acknowledges him. He's going to shake the man's hand. He's going to understand, rules, responsibilities, and everything that goes along with being a man. This dude can't wait till he's 13 to where he can start carrying a pocket knife.
Right.
I can't understand how young men don't carry a pocket knife, especially at work. I cannot get up in the morning and not I have a pocket knife and a razor knife that I carry, every day. At my daughter's wedding, I had my pocket knife and my razor knife. And Sheena was like, well, you probably shouldn't bring that. It's like, I need that. It doesn't feel right. Yeah. Something's always missing.
Jeff, do you carry a knife?
No.
I don't carry a knife, but I have one in my car. I have one in my tool bag. I have one within reach when I need one, but I don't necessarily carry one on me.
Jeff's into computer voodoo. He doesn't carry a knife. He's a programmer.
Yeah.
No, I'm not a programmer.
Yeah.
And I'd be making a lot more money than I do.
Network engineer. He's building the networks. Without him, none of it works.
Nope, I'm a systems engineer. I work on the servers, but I don't build the networks or do voodoo.
Yeah.
I'm oil field trash.
I'm unemployed, homeless or near homeless guy. So
we're all happy.
Last year and a half homeless, living out of a truck.
And we're all happy.
I did what you did for a long time. You know, when I was working in the oil field on land, it was not miles on top of miles, but it was from one job to another job. You know, from West Texas clear over to East Mississippi. You coming home? I'm going home. Hot dang! I ain't been home in 6 weeks. And it's like you getting to Lafayette. Oh, hey, look, we got another job over here in Mississippi. We got a job in Houma. We got a job in Hackberry. And it's like the job was always on the other side of the state. When we went to Texas, that was 4 to 6 weeks every time. Because when we get there, they wouldn't want us to leave. You were talking about the bullies and everything. By the time I was old enough to be working in the oil field, I had already been working in the oil field for 3 years.
Oh, wow.
I started.
You got a good raising then. You got a good hard raising.
Oh, it was. And it's, people don't understand. Well, why you like that? That's how I was taught. When a man walks on the platform, when you hire a third party to get on the platform, it's a specialized thing for somebody to go do. Whenever you get a third party on the platform, it's specialized. Them young guys, they're sitting there on their phones, thumbing away. But then how you knew what that was? Well, you see that guy that came over here a couple of weeks ago? I was in his pocket. I've been like that since I was 16 years old. They don't walk on a platform without me being right there. That's how I learned. The job I have, if you don't go with third party, you're not going to learn a whole bunch from, with the specialized work that goes on.
Right.
And that's just.
It was the same way when I was doing electrical maintenance for manufacturing and we were trying to upstart the plant. If you didn't hang out with the engineers and the guys that were telling people what to do on the line, we weren't going to be able to maintain the facility post-operational status,
Right.
So it was important to get in there and dig around with those nerds and figure out what was in their brains so you could turn it into usable information. Because when they start telling you extra, whatever, it's like, I just need to pull a wire from there to there. Okay, I'm good. See ya.
Well, I'm not smart by any stretch of the imagination. And you're not smart when you're talking to an engineer and they squinting on multiple occasions. They squinting. What? And that's the job I had in Ohio. But I am good at my job, really, especially there's different, there's offshore and there's on land. Working in Ohio, it's on land. The comfort feeling I have working on land is, way better than working offshore.
Mm-hmm.
But the jobs around the house aren't there like they are offshore. So that's what I do. But honestly, I'd go in there and I'd talk to the engineers, and especially when I first got there and I had never spoke to them, it's like, the most educated person I had spoke to was a teacher. So I'm Cajun. I'm getting over there, and all these people, I was contracted to Hess. They're from all over the world, not just the country, the world. And I'm sitting there talking to some of them, and they're literally like, so I learned that I knew my job, but I didn't know how to communicate.
Yeah,
and that was a great part of
one of the first jobs that I ran. We were at Kimberly Clark, a facility that was making tampons, and it was way too complicated for me. They handed me a set of prints. It was 2 or 3 inches thick, and wanted me to build it for them, and I was like, yeah, right. But we negotiated with the engineers, and they told us what we needed to get done. But there was an old timer. I think this was one of my breakout jobs, and there was an old timer sort of pissy about it. He was like, I should be running this job, not you, you know. I said, okay, come with me. I said, you're coming with me to my next meeting. You think you want to run this job? And so he went with me to the engineer meeting, and he did good. He didn't say anything. I didn't say anything. We just sat and we did our thing. And after that meeting was up, that old man looked at me. He said, you're running this job. I'm going back to running that pipe. I said, that's a good idea, buddy. I said, you don't want none of this. I promise you. I'd rather be up there doing what you're doing.
Right.
It's funny what an engineer will say. You know, most of them, especially in the oil field, most of them are overly intelligent, but they don't have the common knowledge of workplace environment. You know, these people were trucking in galvanized handrails from all over the country because they needed 36-foot galvanized, but somebody told them they couldn't weld galvanized pipe or galvanized angle iron. And I just so happened one day I'm sitting in a meeting, you know, I'm
just
sitting
re-galvanize, you re-zinc when you're done with your weld, you just re-zinc everything, you're good.
They're not even worried about that. You know, they're re-zinking it. They were painting the galvanized on top of it. But, you know, everybody in the meeting, there was 10 or 15 engineers that all believed that, well, you can't weld galvanized. I'm sitting there and doing some paperwork on the computer, and they said that, and I turn around and look at the lady, and I'm like, what y'all talking about? So she
see you, Gail. Love you, girl.
She mutes it, and I'm like, you can weld galvanized. You can't weld galvanized, but you can grind the coating off of it and weld the iron and then reseal it with paint, galvanized zinc, whatever you want. It could be redone, but you can. She's like, we've literally spent over $1 million on 7 locations by hauling in handrails for a tank to walk down.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh my God. You know, it's, you know, common knowledge.
We would just use angle iron, right? Just give me a crosswalk, give me some grid lattice and some angle iron, and I'll build you a staircase, you know, and we'll paint it ocean yellow when you get done.
They were using the gridiron, but they didn't want to bolt it together. Their SOPs were welded. You know, you couldn't have a seam and a handrail going. You couldn't have a handrail bolted together. You had to have, it had to be welded or it had to be solid because they didn't want somebody walking down with 3 points of contact to catch or cut themselves.
If you're blind, you got petroleum in your face and you're trying to get the hell out of there before ignite. You don't want to be tearing hands up on the way down. You want it to be slick.
Dude, we had one guy that literally was he made a complaint. He wrote up the card and everything because he couldn't see when he went to the top of the tank and opened the tank up. It burned his eyes. You know. So what they did was, okay, if that burns your eyes, here you have.
I'm putting sardines in his rack, right? I'm putting salt and sardines in his rack every night until he leaves.
That's the guy I actually had to go to sensitivity training for, but they gave him a mask with the canisters for him to be able to go up and everything. Well,
and I'm putting Big J right on the rim of that sumbitch, so when he puts it on his face, it's gonna get him.
So all I did was I'm watching. He's walking down the steps. He doesn't have his hands on the handrail. He's playing with his phone. You know, so when he gets about 7 steps from the bottom, he goes from the 7th step to the last step all at one time. I wrote up the card. You know, he's on his phone. He has the mask. He can't see. You know, and it was me and him got into it a lot. I didn't like him at all. And like I said, I had to go to sensitivity. I go to sensitivity training. I'm a little intoxicated. It doesn't take much anymore. But I go to sensitivity training.
Cheers, brother. Me too.
Cheers. I go to sensitivity training, and because I spoke wrong to somebody, I'm in the sensitivity training, and the lady that walks in is like about 6 foot tall, like everything's skin tight. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, I'm an old man. I shouldn't be having to deal with this. I'm in sensitivity training. I'm about to have to go to sexual harassment training. You know, it's like, she's like, you got anything to say? Just sat there all day. I mean, You know,
a lot, but I'm gonna keep my mouth shut. What have you got to say?
I need my job. Yes, exactly. they would. I think they were trying to get me.
Yeah. I'd have had to do it. I'd have had to pull the trigger on the trap just to see what it was like.
I couldn't. I was making way too much money. It was. I was literally making more in per diem over there than I was as a lead operator offshore.
Oh wow!
It was ridiculous. And every time I'm like, look, I need to go home. I don't get to see my kids enough. I'm ready to go. They're like, here's another $8 an hour. It's like, okay,
yeah,
you know, it was.
You guys, hey, this has been a blast. I appreciate you letting me come and hang out.
Anytime.
We love it. We love it, man.
Love you guys.
Love you too.
Keep grinding.
Oh, we do.
I'll see you this gardening season.
All right.
Take care, brother.
Take it easy.
Love you, man.
Love you too.
Me too. What time is you're live with John?
I'm not worried about him. Whenever you're ready to get up, I'm gonna have to go sit over there and listen to ranky, ranky, ranky every time he opens his mouth. No. If you want to go, look, you want to stay here and play, get you some hours on you. I don't even know how many people we got in here. I can't see.
It says 4 right now.
4? Damn. They suck.
Yeah, they're 4, you know, they're the important people.
That's right. We love you all.
That's right.
I'm sure one's Sheena. She's working, but she got it play. And then you and me. So there's only one other person. And Mr. Martin just left. We're going to be at 3 shortly. Oh, shit.
Yeah, I don't know what time John was actually going live. So
right now.
Oh, is it?
I think so. Let me see. Hold on.
Eric's here too. See, Eric said he's here. Eric supports.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't get any notice that John was going live.
It's circling.
It's circling.
I'm drunk, dude. I used to go out and host karaoke and drink like 30 or 40 shots of Jägermeister. I had 2 beers and maybe 2 shots of Jägermeister.
Mark's still here too. Oh, no, we got 7 people.
7.
Well, it's 5, including me and you.
I don't like that Cajun hydroponics. That dude, all he does is talk crap. You know, it's like
growing tomatoes and 1,000 pounds of tomatoes.
He grew 1,400 pounds of tomatoes in 1,000 square foot.
Yeah. Oh, now I got the notice.
I just got it.
Yeah, so maybe we'll wrap up and head over to John's and watch, and you can go on there and we can all laugh.
I'm going to assume the audio was good.
What the hell?
I don't know what you did.
Chat here.
Hold on.
You see the audio?
I had the video linked up in the background when he came live and started talking. That's scary. That's scary.
Yeah, we've been on almost an hour and 18 minutes. That's good. We'll head over to John's. We'll have some fun watching you and John. What's that?
Peace, brother.
I thought you were throwing gang signs up on my live or something.
Dude, I don't know no gang signs. But look, South Louisiana boy, you gotta love it. Y'all grow that later.
See you, everybody. Thanks for coming in. Grow something. We'll see you. Have a great night.